And I find it hard to disagree with anything he said there. Multiplayer and ranked play in and of itself are actually not bad. They are fine, but it's just ruined by cheaters. That guy doesn't even play Warzone. Yeah. Oh, Scump, do you think your multiplayer is bad? Go to Warzone now. You have the same issue. Warzone is infested with cheaters that makes it unplayable. But on top of that, it's not fine. The rank system isn't fine if it weren't for the cheaters, unlike multiplayer. Bugs me how big I am. Musculature is 1, 2. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 487. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I am joined by Tanner, who is in the middle of an apocalyptic event in California. 100,000 mile per hour winds, embers raining from the heavens. I mean, it's
basically a hurricane with flames. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So, his house is not burned down yet. It did last week. That was the family crisis, a giga emergency or whatever. But anyways, welcome to the show. He's back in the saddle again. He'll be here Saturday, hopefully, unless his, I don't know, whatever, some power line goes down and engulfs another half of the state in flames. We'll see. But today we have some stuff to talk about. Wow. And we're just going to get right into it. So we will have some announcements. Stick around for the end of the show. But in the meantime, let's get into our first section. Patch notes, changes already in effect. Now, before we get into this, I would like to remind you guys of a tweet that Raven Software tweeted on December 23rd. We talked about this recently. By the way, this is in fact their latest tweet. Yeah.
And they wrote a ton of words. Okay. As we approach the end of the year, we'd like to share some insight on what we're working on for Warzone. And again, December 23rd, this was tweeted, cheating remains our top priority, particularly in ranked. I'm going to paraphrase most of this. We're continuing to prioritize server performance and enhancing game stability. We prepared key updates to movement to increase fluidity and resolve issues with perks and challenges. Players can expect faster mantle speeds, rebalanced perks, the combat record, and the ability to close doors while running. We are addressing concerns with reviving mechanics as well. We're also closely examining audio inconsistencies, lighting and visibility concerns, K-BAM functionality, irregular UAV behavior, and discrepancies with contracts on the TAC map. Now, here's the key point of this. Many of these improvements will ship shortly after the holidays. In the meantime, we wish you all a joyful holiday season. Now, this was tweeted once again on December 23rd. That was 2 weeks ago, plus 3 days ago. My math says that's 17 days. 17, right? So one of two things is the case here. One of three things. Number one, I don't know what shortly after the holidays means, right? Okay,
they don't either.
That's possible. It's possible that I don't know what shortly after the holidays means. It's also possible that I don't know what the word most means, right? Because they said, many of these improvements will ship shortly after the holidays. So it's possible I don't know what the word shortly after phrase means. It's possible I don't know what the word many means, right? Or option door number 3, Raven has lied to us once again. Now, let me give you guys a little more insight into this, okay? Cheating is one of the things they talked about. Was that addressed shortly after the holidays? No. Server performance. Key updates to movement for increased fluidity, including faster mantle speeds. Okay, there's 1 for 3. Numerous issues with perks and challenges. No. Rebalanced perks. No. The combat record. No. Concerns with reviving mechanics. No. Let's see. Audio inconsistencies. Lighting and visibility concerns. K-BAM functionality. Irregular UAV behavior. I don't have a sound for this, but they sort of fixed this, but also broke something else. Because now, for example, today, Jake was trying to call a precision airstrike, but we had popped too many UAVs or something, and he just couldn't call it ever. So then he dropped it to Cope, the Come Cowboy, our teammate. Cope picked it up. He also couldn't call it. So something went wrong there. So you know what I'm getting at? I'm giving that irregular UAV behavior a buzzer sound. And then what did they see? Discrepancies with contracts on the TAC map. I don't know what that ever meant. So, but probably is the correct sound.
Yeah, I would think so. You haven't noticed anything different? I think that's the correct sound.
Yeah, okay. So, did you guys hear more or in this little segment? Because I have a spoiler alert. It was that sound. I'm done doing it. So sorry if that was annoying. But yeah, so almost nothing. So not many of the improvements, almost none of the improvements they talked about did not ship shortly after the holidays. 2 did, or 3, if we're being generous. In the meantime, we wish you all a joyful holiday season. Okay.
Not much to be joyful about.
I didn't experience joy. I experienced despair because of you. So Raven has once again probably lied to us. Now, you might be thinking, but Raz, wait. You're doing a podcast on a Thursday. That's usually when they do their big updates to the game. Okay.
Oh,
let's get into that. And let's also keep in mind, I'm aware of that. Let's also keep in mind, by the way, that even if they fixed all of this today, which they of course did not, this is not shortly after the holidays. This is in fact 15 days after Christmas Day. Or fewer than that, whatever, 11 after New Year's Day. So we've already been lied to. We've been bamboozled.
Today. Yeah. Oh, I see.
And today is the 9th, by the way. Yeah, right. So cool, fun, and exciting. So with those things in mind, just with the knowledge that Raven loves to tell lies, shout out to, who's the old shitter that's mad at us? What's his name? J-Rock?
Oh my God, J-Rock, yeah.
J-Rock, yeah. Shout out to J-Rock. I can't believe they said that. So anyway, whatever. We have some patch notes. Okay. And we did get a patch today, in fact. One of which is for multiplayer and zombies. And then ostensibly another one of which is for Warzone. Yeah. So let's start with multiplayer and zombies.
Yeah, get it out of the way. Get ready for the big Warzone update.
Correct. Yeah, because there are lots of glaring issues. So, okay, today, Thursday, January 9th, about an hour ago. Address an issue where Maya's Joyride operator skin would not be visible past 70 meters.
Classic.
Okay.
That was what, the 3rd or 4th invisible operator, I believe, at least that we know of. There are probably more that people just never ran.
Right. Yep. So that's cool. And by the way, keep in mind, right? Keep this in mind. The last time there was an invisible operator skin, and then they said they fixed it in patch notes, it actually wasn't fixed in patch notes. And then they deleted it from those patch notes and said nothing. So keep that in mind, by the way. So is the Maya's Joyride operator skin now visible past 70 meters? It may or may not be, because they tell lies to us with almost every patch note. Virtually everyone. So maybe they've broken the streak. I doubt it. Address some visual issues with the events tab. K. Address an issue where audio was not playing for event milestone banners in game. Because that's what I need, is more event sounds in-game. Cool. Multiplayer. Red light, green light. Increased XP awarded from the match bonus. Now, can I move my character when it's a green light without being eliminated? Don't know. That was a bug. They haven't said they fixed it, to my knowledge. Have they? Don't know. Doubt it, though, strongly. Do they even know that's a bug? Doubt it strongly, the sequel. So, who knows? But you'll get more XP. Cool, man. Added various stability fixes. Okay. And then zombies. So they write a lot of words. Should we read these, you think?
Yes.
Okay, here's what they say about zombies. Hey, everyone. This is a little blurb in italics, so you know it's serious. This is a heart-to-heart. Let's talk about those changes from January 3rd. The team is always focused on making zombies fun and rewarding. It's why we make video games, in parentheses.
Don't say that ever again.
It bothers me so much.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I hate it. Yeah. You make video games to pay your mortgage, John. Don't tell me you do it because you like us having fun. That's obviously not true. But we don't always nail it the first time. Some fixes for bugs or exploits can become lower priority as more important issues come up. What are those more important issues, by the way? For example, increased XP awarded from a match bonus of the bugged red light, green light LTM. That is a higher priority than other glaring issues in the game. Cool. I'm not mad at all. What were you going to say?
Yeah, what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm bugged already. I'm bothered, but sure, I'll keep reading it. And some need to be held for an update further down the line. Last Friday's changes to Big Game for Shadow Rift, the Shock Charge speedrun step for Terminus, and directed mode spawn delays after 5 looped rounds are prime examples of these. I don't play enough zombies to know what most of this is. We know it's not fun to see a fix in air quotes, or in quotation marks, multiple weeks later for something that wasn't bothering you in the first place. So we're reverting the directed mode changes, giving Shadow Rift 4 new buffs, and scheduling a fix to allow speedrunners to safely use the shock charge tactic in Terminus again. The first 2 are live now, with the speedrun fix needing some extra testing before it goes live. Thanks to everyone for the reports and visual effects not showing properly in Citadel, and crashes that can happen when you're using a sword while Aether Shroud is active with the Void Sheath augment. The team produced fixes for these bugs shortly after they popped up, and they're live today. Okay, besides them lying to me about prioritization, and to be fair, actually, the guy who wrote this might just work on zombies, and maybe in the case of just zombies fixes, they have prioritized things correctly. You know what? That's possible, in which case I'm fine with pretty much everything that's been written down here. It seems, in fact, with the copious amount of words that are written down about zombies in every patch, and the lack of them in Warzone, for example, it is pretty obvious to me that a different group of individuals work on zombies than Warzone, or maybe even multiplayer. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zombies is its own just separate team. So.
Yeah. So, you know what? Cool. And that's good. I like this. And I like that they're telling people what they've, been doing, plan on doing, and will continue to do in the future. And in the case of zombies, keep in mind, I haven't played it in a while. I can actually trust what they say about this. Like, oh, we have fixes planned and they're coming soon.
Yeah.
In the case of zombies, I believe you. Because as far as I'm aware, the zombies devs have not said they fixed a bug and then it not be fixed 4 times in a row and it still be broken to this day. Right? That's not true for Warzone, for example. But in the zombies case, it is, so I can actually trust them when they say things to me. Yeah, so anyway, I'm tilting, sure. Maps, Citadel, they write a lot of stuff that they fixed. Directed mode they reverted the nerf to it, so you can, I guess, farm camos on it easily again, which is cool. I'm glad they did that because a lot of people were mad. Some ammo mod changes, LTM changes, and stability fixes, and that's that for multiplayer and zombies. Mostly zombies. But yeah, I mean, by the way, here are the multiplayer notes. It is 2 lines and 1 subline. Those are the multiplayer patch notes. And then in zombies, there's an essay, and then there are billions of lines. Now, granted, zombies was a lot more buggy, at least Citadel, than multiplayer probably was, but the attention to detail is pretty obvious for one team and not so much for the other. So, cool.
Something, by the way, you should read this last little excerpt underneath the stability bug fixes.
Okay, let me find it. Okay.
Let's read that little sucker.
So this is for zombies. Here's what they write as another little blurb. Sometimes bugs appear fixed in testing, but turn out to still be an issue in the live game after the patch goes out. I'm going to keep reading. Sorry to have questions. This sucks for everyone involved, and it can lead to inaccurate patch notes, which we never want. Okay. Oh, yeah. The vermin double attack bug is one of these. And like the Terminus speedrun fix, the proper solution for it, unfortunately, can't be implemented as quickly as some of the other items listed above. Look for both of those fixes in Season 2, which will launch on January 28th. I don't know if we knew that officially, but now we know. January 28th is when Season 2 launches.
So they put an update live. They claim they fixed something and it doesn't get fixed. And then they just say, well, we'll fix it in Season 2. Like, what? Why do they have to wait 19 more days to fix something that they already tried to fix but then bugged it out? I don't understand this at all. I don't. Why do we have to wait 19 more days for that?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know either.
That does not make sense.
But I think we've talked about this, or like we've been told about this before fairly recently, where it's like they have to bundle a bunch of stuff together before they do a patch. Or not that they necessarily have to, but they want to. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Yikes.
Yeah. But the bigger question for me is this. Sometimes bugs appear fixed in testing, but turn out to still be an issue in the live game after the patch goes out. Hey, how the fuck is that possible? What?
Yeah, I don't fully understand that either. It's
I don't understand it at all. How do you fix something and then you test it and then it's fixed and then you put out that exact update and then it's actually not fixed? What did you...
Yeah, I don't know if it's something to do with like the build that they test things on. It's not the same as the live build, so things will go wrong when they implement it. I don't know.
Whatever possible thing does happen in that case, you guys should know that by now. So fucking test it on the right build or something. Do QA. Hey, maybe you have to use a different build to test it on. Maybe you have to test it on 2 builds. I don't fucking know. I'm not a developer, but you are and have been for 30 years. Other companies can QA test changes before they go live. Why can't you? So it's a little curious to me. I'm not even sure I believe it, in fact. I'm not sure I believe this.
Well,
because they're trying to tell us, oh, we did test it. We did test the fix, and that's why we put it in the patch notes. But then it went live, and it wasn't actually fixed. Did you really test it? Did you? Because how is this possible? It's not like that. Whatever the issue could possibly be, it's not like they don't know that that's a potential issue where they test a bug and then it's not actually, or a fix, and then it doesn't actually work on live servers. I don't get it at all. That makes no sense to me. You have an entire department for exactly this reason. How is this happening ever? To Activision. Like, it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like for a company whose job is to do game development, like this isn't even just an Activision thing. This is just how like game dev always is. Like they push an update live and then things just break when they push it live. But I've always just been curious. I'm like, well, why does this happen? What is like different about the build, how they test it from when they put live to put that update live, that just screws things up. Like Tarkov does shit like this too, where they'll push it to live servers and it'll just be completely bugged, and it's like, whoops. But yeah, I don't know. You just think there would be some other way for them to do this. I mean, your job is game development. You think you'd figure out a solution to that problem, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And normally, you know, I would give a game the benefit of the doubt when they say this. But I mean, this happens. This has happened this year since the integration. So many. I mean, 4 times alone just for the cost of Blueprint, or excuse me,
far more than
weapons
last year,
in Warzone.
The year before, yeah.
Yeah, already. So, like, I don't give them the benefit of the doubt at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing to have a big update, so like a new season or a new map, and there are a bunch of bugs that were unforeseen because the devs just can't test everything. That's fine. Like, I get it. It's a huge, like, you know, whatever, the Cold War integration. It was their first time doing it, and it was like a new, or Caldera, for example, whatever. New map, new guns, new perks. There are going to be some bugs. You can't test everything. You eventually have to just put the thing live and then patch it up as you go, which is kind of what happened with Caldera. The speed wasn't great in my memory, but whatever. But it's an entirely separate thing for you to know about a bug, fix it, supposedly test it, and the fix worked, and then it goes live and it actually doesn't work. That is not forgivable to me. Like, I just don't get how that's possible. I don't know. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, cool for zombies players, I guess, which is good. I'm not disrespecting zombies players. I'm just not one myself. So now let's go to Warzone, and keep in mind that Raven tweet we read at the beginning of the show was talking about Warzone.
Yeah.
And remember, on December 23rd, they said shortly after the holidays, they would fix many of those issues.
Okay, let's click on the link here.
So cool. Today's patch notes for Warzone. Friday, January 3rd. Huh, that's weird. Today's actually Thursday, January 9th. Maybe this page is cached. Let me refresh my browser. Oh. There hasn't been a patch this week. Got it. And we already talked about this one on Saturday. I've got it. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. They've done nothing for Warzone. It is Thursday the 9th, which constitutes shortly after the holidays. Actually, it doesn't. This is not shortly after the holidays. Monday would have been shortly after the holidays.
It's already
Maybe.
not shortly after the holidays, and it's looking like a 100% chance that we're not even getting a Warzone patch this week. So then we're going to be going into the 3rd week of January, which is not shortly after either of the holidays.
Correct.
And we usually don't get the updates till like Wednesdays, Thursdays, which means it's going to be halfway through the 3rd week of January. So that's a classic, yeah.
It's a huge classic, and you know what's going to happen? Because next Thursday is the 16th. The new season's the 28th. So by next week, they're going to be like, you know what? Let's just bundle all these fixes into the launch of Season 2. And then they will attempt to do that and fail on most fronts. Will Quick Fix work? Doubt it. Honestly, I doubt it. Will they say Quick Fix works now for the 2nd or 3rd time? I don't remember which. Probably. They'll probably say Quick Fix is fixed, and it probably won't be still on Season 2. By the way, even if it were fixed, would not be shortly after the holidays. And they won't fix many of those issues, because many of those issues in that Raven tweet were big, glaring concerns that if they had addressed all of them would be really cool and really good, which is precisely why I'm not expecting many or even half or even 30% of them to be fixed by even Season 2, which would be January 28th, which would be more than 1 month after that tweet. So just remember, like we said recently, Raven is just a complete liar now. They're liars. All of them lie. They suck a lot. So absolutely nothing for Warzone. I think there were a couple tweets maybe that barely matter. We'll go over them. But once again, they barely matter. I still can't revive my teammates. Happened today. It happened today. Guess who was the player that was downed? It was me, Cope, and Jake playing. Just guess. Why don't you take a guess, Tanner?
You.
Okay, let me give you some context. We got second place.
You.
No, it was Jake. So our best player gets downed. He's giga resable, super omega resable. Cope tries, can't do it. I have time to lollygag over there myself and try. Can't res him. Cool. And then we get slammed hard because I was looking for my foot pedal, so I whiffed. And then Cope couldn't clutch, and Jake got really mad at Cope, which made me laugh. That's still a bug. Hasn't been fixed ever. It's been a bug since the integration. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, like a lot of these things are important. Would be cool if they were fixed. They won't be. They won't be. And it bothers me a lot. So anyway, let's move on. We have a tweet here from Charles Intelligence. A lot of people are experiencing this issue. I have not. But I believe that there are issues that I don't experience. So here's the tweet. Players have noticed that after a match in BO6 or Warzone, the game is auto-equipping one of the free Squid Game skins as their operator skin. It seems to be happening because the event pass is the second menu tab and players are moving through after report too fast. I don't get it. I don't know what this means, but I click through the menus more slowly, I guess, if this is happening to you and it's bothering you a lot. So,
how many of the paid Squid Game skins are you seeing?
Not
a lot of people
many.
running them? That's
no, good. Actually. But it's like,
I was hoping you would see none.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing some, but it's like if they're not running that, they're just running Black Noir or some other jet black skin or the Maya completely invisible skin. So, whatever.
Got it.
I don't know. A lot of people, this bug is actually kind of nice because this is a very visible skin, which I need all the help I can get inside of any building in this game. So anyway,
yeah, by the way, do you think the visibility is better on Urzikstan now?
Fuck no.
Because I've seen a few tweets now of people saying they like, I don't remember who tweeted it, but they were like, so why did they just not tell us they passed a visual update on Urzikstan to make visibility better?
Who
so these people
who
are just
tweeted
lying,
that?
right?
So
I don't know, but I've seen numerous
them.
things. People in our Discord said it too. There were a couple people talking about it.
Okay.
And then I've seen some tweets. But judging from streams, it certainly doesn't look like it. Well, I haven't launched the game in 3 weeks, in case you guys were curious, if you guys couldn't tell. So I don't know personally, but from watching streams here and there, it certainly doesn't fucking look any different.
I've been playing like at least 2 hours every day because I'm an idiot for the past like month in Warzone on Urzikstan almost exclusively. And I can promise you the visibility is exactly the same. I see people fine outside unless they're in a bush or in a shadow or in a building, in which case I don't see them at all. So yeah, the visibility is exactly the same.
The tactical Brit. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
He tweeted on January 4th. Interesting that COD did an entire lighting pass to Urzikstan and just did not mention it.
Okay. That bugs me a lot. So sure, yeah. I'll go to his Twitter replies and see what people are saying.
One guy said, same on Rebirth Island. He didn't get a ton of comments on it, so there aren't too many responses.
When was this?
I saw that one, and then I saw some other random tweets. January 4th.
Okay.
Tactical Brit.
Yeah. So some guy said, this is the only tweet I've seen about it. Is it actually better? Yeah.
Yeah, who was saying that in our Discord?
Yeah, this guy's just wrong. He's just yapping. This is just not true. Probably GC. The British like to lie also. A lot. I guess. So. I'm bothered, sure.
Are you?
Dude, like so many of these content creators and streamers and videographers or whatever, YouTubers, they just yap and talk about the dumbest shit. And it bugs me because a lot of them are quite popular and you would imagine have some level of influence with how the game actually is run and what direction it goes. And when they are saying, oh, the most important issue right now is that I can't slide cancel and have it reset tac sprint, it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
This is the issue we're talking about? I lost a game today because I couldn't res my teammate. I don't have a gun in the gulag sometimes, and then I can never equip one again for the entire match. Quick fix doesn't work. Half the perks don't work. What does work is pulling out my tac knife and tac sprinting unlimitedly. Although that's another bug, by the way. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you jog with your knife out. You can't tac sprint with it.
That's something I saw a content creator post a video of very early on. It still looks like you're in the animation, but you know what? I don't even know if it's a bug, because you know how they have some sort of like movement inertia in the game where it's like you're not always at your highest speed because you have to like build up to it. I think that's basically what happens, and then it's like you're tac sprinting for a while and then it almost slows down for a short period of time. It's very weird, but it's obvious to tell when you have your knife out sprinting, it's not always the same movement speed. It like changes.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I don't think it's anything intentional or tied to inertia at all. I think it's just a bug. Because when it happens to me, I will never again move quickly until I get another loadout.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a bug. Just a bug. But the real issue is slide cancel doesn't reset tac sprint. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so moving on from that, another tweet from Charles Intelligence.
Okay, I found it in Discord, so yeah. Well, okay, yeah, it was MPR, Jakin, and Dubfire, so nothing changed.
I mean, yeah, it's just fake. I play more than all of them combined, or have lately.
Well,
and I promise you the lighting on Urzikstan is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Do you guys think they would have improved the game in some way and not mentioned it? You're out of your mind.
Well, that's the thing. They do that, surprisingly, because we've talked about that. It's like, why do they not mention the good things they change, but then tell us they fix these bugs that don't matter? So that happens occasionally.
Lately?
But yeah,
I know that
it
has
happens
happened
a lot in the
but-
past. No, I'm not talking about like in the last week or something. I'm just saying that happens.
No, I mean
often
this
where they'll
since the
change
integration.
things. I mean, there probably has, but I can't think of anything right now. But yeah. So I mean, if you guys don't notice it immediately, then it's probably not there.
It's just not. Yeah, it's just not. I still don't see people in all the same spots I used to not see them, and I still see people perfectly fine in all the same spots I used to see people perfectly fine. So that's anyway. Anyway. Another tweet here. BO6 Zombies, January 3rd patch notes, said that they fixed Vermin being able to hit twice in one attack. We already went over this, but that is not fixed. They've said something about it in a relatively timely fashion. W Zombies team. So here we go. Moving on from that. COD Updates today tweeted, the Joyride operator skin for Maya has been re-enabled. This is the one that was invisible. Did they fix it actually? I don't know.
Yeah,
the last time this happened, they said they fixed it, put it back, and it was not fixed. So who knows? I don't know. I cannot confirm.
Well, COD Update says it's been re-enabled, so technically they didn't say it's been fixed in the tweet.
I guess,
so
yeah.
They just, they re-enabled the invisible skin, yeah.
Right, yeah. That's funny and possible, yes. And then they could say, see, we didn't lie. We just said we re-enabled it. We knew it was broken. We re-enabled it for some reason. So, okay, cool. Yeah. And then also today from COD Updates, Warzone. Okay, promising. Because the character limit is no longer 180 on Twitter, so they could write every change that needs to happen in one tweet. Did they? No. The armory has been re-enabled in the menu for players to use. Gotcha. Which, to be fair, is something that needed to happen. Because like someone in Discord today, yesterday, 2 days ago, was having issues accessing the armory. And apparently it's because you couldn't if you were in Warzone, but you could if you were in multiplayer. So if you wanted to unlock something specific for Warzone, I forget what it was, but like you actually just couldn't unlock it yet because you had to wait for this to be re-enabled. Now, let me be clear. If true, this is a good fix. I don't know. I haven't looked at the armory in Warzone since this, so who knows? So that's it for
You wouldn't know
patch
if
notes.
it was enabled or disabled, by the way, because it still takes 15 minutes to find it. So
Yeah, it's in the most unintuitive possible spot. That's what I told him. He's like, "Do you guys know where to find the armory in Warzone, or just find the armory?" And I said, "Literally, think of the most illogical possible menu combination it could be in. That's exactly where you'll find it." And then he said, "I don't know, I just can't find it." And it's yeah, it turns out it's because it wasn't enabled in Warzone. So anyway, that's it for patch notes and changes that have happened. And we are past shortly after the holidays, and almost none of the important issues, once again, that Raven said they would fix have been
after
fixed.
the holidays, man.
Got it! Raven lies to you. Yeah, so anyway, Raven's fallen off. Infinity Ward fell off years ago. And Treyarch's not great either, by the way.
Sledgehammer on top, man.
I've died behind a wall a lot. Cool. So anyway,
Yeah.
next we're news and upcoming changes. There's a lot of stuff. I'm actually gonna save this for the end, but it's a funny video that we will
I didn't
be
watch it yet. So I'm
listen.
interested to hear that.
Save it. It'll be fun. So yeah, we'll save that for the end. But for now, let's see what else do we got here. As I said earlier, season 2 is confirmed to start on Tuesday, January 28th. Now, cool, I guess. Hot take. And I'm not joking, I'm dead serious. I genuinely hope they delay this and do some fixes first before they release a bunch of new content. Because every time you release new content, you run the risk of introducing new unforeseen bugs. And we are so far behind right now that I don't want new content yet. Catch up on 40% of the Warzone bugs, for example, and then release season 2, I guess. Ideally more than 40%, but whatever. And then we'll have new bugs, but we won't be in an even deeper hole than we're in now. We'll be in a hole of about equal depth, probably. I want them to delay it. Will they? No. I don't think so.
God, no. No. You know what they need to start doing is delaying the yearly release for Warzone to like January 10th.
I agree.
Let's just stop. Let multiplayer be the thing for like 2 full months, and then get Warzone out once you guys are back from your massive long break.
Unearned. Yeah. I agree.
That's what we got to start doing.
Yeah. So anyway,
I would say they delay it until shortly after the holiday every year. That's what I would like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sometime
January
in February.
30th. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. By the way, what are we expecting with season 2? Like, what's the new content? Have they said?
No, I've seen no leaks. I've seen nothing really. I mean, nobody's interested right now. Well, 1, it's still a ways away, but 2, the game's a disaster. So that's what we need. We need bugs to be fixed, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they can delay it because it just seems like they push all the bug updates out to like one big fix, like the vermin one we were just talking about that they pushed a fix for, and then it didn't work. So then now we're like, well, we'll try again in 20 days. So, hey, do we want them to delay it? Because then that probably means all the bug fixes are being delayed. But then again, it doesn't matter because they fix them and they don't fix them. So Jesus Christ.
Correct. Yeah, I'm right there
so
with you.
Bad.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But anyways, so whatever. That's when season 2 may be coming. Let's see. Yeah, just a couple other things here. Another tweet from Charlie Intel. The current rumors on the COD schedule are 2025, Treyarch, new Black Ops game that is a sequel to BO2. This is shocking to me, actually. This was tweeted on January 6th, and Charlie Intel, as far as like reputable leakers go, is fairly reputable, because usually he does not report on anything unless someone else has reported on it first, and also he already knows that those leaks are likely true. Then he's allowed to tweet about it. So this is likely accurate, or at least accurate in terms of what Activision is planning as of now. Plans do change. That's why we never got that snow BR map whenever that game came out. Because like at the time that was leaked, I forget the name of it, it was the case that Activision was planning that, but the leak turned out to not be true because Activision changed their minds after the leak happened. So that wasn't like any leaker's fault. That was just, things changed. So anyway, 2025 being another Treyarch game is kind of crazy to me. And I don't know what to make of that. And the reason that's weird, by the way, is typically what COD has done for the past couple decades is Infinity Ward year 1, Sledgehammer year 2, Treyarch year 3, Infinity Ward year 1 or 4, etc. And it repeats, so that each dev team has about 3 years to work on their game, which is the usual release cycle or schedule for other franchises like Halo. It's usually like one new game every 3 weeks or 3 years, because they have one dev studio, or that's how it used to be. Battlefield, I think, is on about the same one. But so the reason this is weird, of course, is because 2024's game was Black Ops 6 by Treyarch. So 2025, the very next year, also being by Treyarch, is a little weird to me. I don't know what to make of this. I have a couple thoughts, though. One, we might be doing another Modern Warfare 3 type beat, meaning it is a so-called remaster of Black Ops 6. So the UI stays the same, the guns stay the same, or not the guns stay the same, but they release new guns, but not that many. They integrate BO6 guns into BO7, we'll all call it for now. And then we get like a bunch of remastered maps. So maybe a bunch of the BO3 maps, probably not because there was wall running. A bunch of the, BO2 maps or BO4 maps is like the only map pool. And some people complained about that, but we loved it because it was very polished and worked really well and was not very buggy. That's one possibility for why Treyarch's doing it again. Any other possibilities? I can't think of at this time. Pretty weird. And then 2026 is supposedly, according to these rumors, a new Modern Warfare title from Infinity Ward. It'll suck balls because Infinity Ward's a terrible dev studio. So that's guaranteed. I already know that if it's Infinity Ward. And then 2027, Sledgehammer Games, a new Call of Duty game. Okay. So who knows what that'll be. Hopefully they stay away from World War II, for God's sake. Maybe a new IP. Treyarch has Black Ops. Infinity Ward has Modern Warfare. Let's get a new IP in the mix. That's Sledgehammer exclusive. That could be fun. That could be cool. What would not be cool is doing another campaign mission where I storm the beaches of Normandy for the 300th time. I'm over it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Mainly on the Treyarch thing, I guess on all of it, but mainly.
Well, I mean, we knew this. We've talked about this a few times. It was always going to be 2 years of Treyarch, and next year was going to be that's what it is. It's like an MW2 to MW3 type thing, and because we've covered it and we talked about the articles where they said, or for the leaked articles that were basically like, next year will be an expanded version of Omni Movement, and that's why.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly, a lot of these maps are coming back is because there's some version of wall running in the game, and that's one of the new Omni Movement mechanics. It's not gonna be like jetpacks or anything like that, obviously, but just expanded on the whole Omni Movement thing. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. The Infinity Ward game will probably suck a lot. I am excited for Sledgehammer's own game again because I don't know. It feels like they've really stepped it up. But also, the last game they made themselves was Vanguard, and it was really, really bad. So who knows? 'Cause they did a great job last year, actually. But the game they base it off of was a game they did not make themselves. So they essentially just took what they knew was a bad game and they fixed everything with it.
Yeah.
So interested to see what they do. We also don't know everything behind the scenes. Maybe for some reason, Activision wanted a World War II era game. There's a good chance Sledgehammer is like, we don't want to fucking make this. But Activision's like, no, we need to go back and try World War II again, see what happens. And then that's why Sledgehammer, you know, everything that was in the game, like all the attachments and stuff, obviously they had to make it feel like a modern game still. So it didn't feel like a World War II game, but that marketing alone just completely killed it. So,
yeah,
you know, we don't really know what went behind the scenes there, if it was their fault to design that game or not. But I'm excited for their own game, honestly. Because the only thing that I thought we were going to get 2 years of Infinity Ward too. I thought that's what the leak was, that we were going to get Infinity Ward is basically going to be 26, 27. But yeah, so that, because we had said too with the Treyarch game next year, I think we had talked about and joked like, oh, at least at that point, the game will probably be good going into year 2 because they'll figure everything out. It'll be like MW 2 going to MW 3. They'll finally fix all the bugs, and then basically we'll have a slightly better version of the game next year.
That would be cool.
They have a year to fix the bugs, man. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, I just wish I knew, because like there were a lot of problems, you know, a couple of years ago, like Warzone and multiplayer and zombies and everything, every single facet of the franchise. But I knew very clearly what dev studio or studios were working on what, but now I don't, and it bugs me. Because, like, again, multiplayer in BO6 and zombies in BO6 have their issues, but like we said, and I stand by it, this is the best year of multiplayer for unranked ever. It's so good. It's not perfect. I don't like the specialties thing, ultimately. The hit reg is Treyarch, which is to say terrible. Too much penetration, bullet pen. But like everything else is like quite good. I mean, the maps suck a lot actually too, but now there's Nuketown, so I don't really care. But like Warzone's a complete disaster, obviously. And Treyarch is responsible for some of that. I just don't know how much. But it's obvious because you're playing on like Treyarch like servers with Treyarch like hit reg, and it makes sense because this is a BO6 integration into Warzone. BO6 guns, Omni movement, UI. So obviously Treyarch has some role to play in Warzone's issues. I just wish I knew how much.
Yeah,
I really do.
They certainly have a role in it. Yeah.
Because then I could appropriately brace myself for 2025 being Treyarch's game if I knew what exactly that would entail for Warzone. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like I don't know. I think most of the blame is still on Raven because they've been just radio silent. And when they're not, they lie. So
they have been, but it feels like a Treyarch game.
But so it does feel a lot like
it's easier to
game.
blame Treyarch almost for me. All of the bugs not being fixed and everything, I think that's all Raven, but a lot of just the feeling of the game is Treyarch. Like, yeah, there's no denying the hit reg. That's Treyarch had something to do with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because no other studio makes it feel that way. Not even close.
I agree. Yeah. That's hit reg is best in iDub games. Sledgehammer, it's usually pretty okay, but not great. And then Treyarch is always the worst, the absolute worst by a lot. And then there are other differences we could talk about, but I actually like the feeling of Sledgehammer games the most. I don't like something about their UI, the hit reg, or excuse me, the like hit marker sound, time to kill. Generally, I like Sledgehammers the best, actually, which is very uncommon, but this doesn't matter. So anyway, moving on from that. So those are interesting rumors. We'll see if they're true. But again, like I said at the outset, Charlie Intel usually does not report on some kind of leak or rumor unless he also knows that it's true or likely true. So
Yeah.
it's pretty likely that those are the case. Charlie Intel also tweeted, in a court filing, COD exec confirms that they intentionally avoid using real weapon names. And here's a quote. Deliberate steps to make the weapons generic and avoid incorporating any real-world products of any particular manufacturer and remove any unique stylistic elements that might be associated with a certain brand. Now, we'll get into what the court filing was and why this was said in a second, but this is something we've kind of talked about before. I've never cared too much, but our working theory, the last time we did talk about this, or the last time I talked about this, is I had said it's probably because they don't want to pay the gun manufacturers any kind of like licensing fee or something. So if they wanted to put in, you know, a Remington ACR again, well, they'd have to pay Remington to be able to do that. It's their IP, that gun. So Activision, my thought was like, why do that? We can just make an ACR, take the word Remington off of the receiver, and then move a little bob and whatever bolt somewhere so it's not exactly like an ACR, and then we'll call it the, you know, RCR, really cool rifle, and then be done with it and not have to pay the licensing fee. And some people are like, oh, that sucks, but I never cared very much about this. It is kind of cool when there's like a real life gun in the game, but this game is so wildly unrealistic. It's an arcade shooter that it's not gonna, even if it is an actual Remington ACR, go use one in 2009 MW2 and then go shoot a real life Remington ACR. I've never done that, to be fair, but I bet you they do not perform very similarly. If I wanted that, I would go play a milsim game like Tarkov, for example, which is probably also not super accurate, but more than this. But anyway, what is the court filing? Why did the exec say this? There was a lawsuit filed in May that claims that Call of Duty games inspired and trained is hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. The Uvalde school shooter. So we've been demonetized for talking about this. That's fine. And here's an excerpt of an article that was written on a website. A searing lawsuit was filed in May of 2024 that alleged Activision's COD games inspired and trained the 2022 murderer of 19 students and 2 adults at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. But the Microsoft-owned game company is now pushing back and asking courts in California for the lawsuit's rapid dismissal. So, okay, we're not going to read this whole article here.
This is the entire article, so I didn't read it yet, but that was the biggest thing, is that there's a lawsuit. There's a lawsuit filed against them because they say that the COD inspired and trained the mass murderer school shooter. Got it.
Who is bringing this lawsuit forward? I'm not seeing that.
It was
the Uvalde family's suit.
Yeah, it was basically the victims' families. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, let's see if there's anything else interesting in here.
Well, while you look, or is there anything? Sorry, just go ahead.
In defending against the Uvalde claims, Activision asserts that COD is constitutionally protected speech, no more liable for a mass shooting than would be a movie or book about warfare.
Which, unfortunately, is obviously true. So I'm of two minds on this topic. On the one hand, anything bad that can possibly happen to Activision, I want to happen, because they do far more grievous things to me every single day. I make the mistake to play their video game. So I want them to lose this lawsuit. I don't really, but I kind of do. Depends on how many bugs I die to that day. Died to lots today. But on the other hand, this is obviously absurd. This is a cash grab from the victims' families. That is, I would imagine, quite disingenuous. Maybe not. Maybe some of these boomer parents genuinely think that, like, oh, this guy played, Warzone, so and it glorified violence. So he was a perfectly normal, well-adjusted young man until he played Warzone, and then he became a homicidal maniac that gunned down dozens of people at an elementary school.
Wait, this is interesting. In November, the families and their lawyers amended their lawsuit, adding, among other things, an image of a first-person home video that they say the Uvalde killer made a month before the massacre. They allege it was inspired by a level from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Like one of the missions.
One of the campaign missions, yeah.
I don't remember what that would have been.
I don't either.
What they could possibly be talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, this is obviously completely insane. Video games do not make people commit, domestic terrorism, actually. That doesn't happen. And the funniest part of this, of course, is that the Call of Duty games not only inspired, which is one thing that I don't think is well-founded, but also trained the guy. Hey, no, it didn't.
Training.
What is he gonna omni-move past some cop and then be like, oh, I can take this chow, I'm full-plated. Hey, that's not how real-life gunfights work fucking at all. You take one bullet probably anywhere and you are liable to die. So that's not... COD games definitely are not training anyone. And no one will tell you that sooner than some quote-unquote vet who was... some secretary in the Coast Guard who has, Lieutenant whatever the fuck as his clan tag. And he's in a Discord full of vets, again, in scare quotes. And they all play Warzone together. And they use their immense training to get fucking rolled over easily by everyone else. They will be the first to tell you this game isn't realistic at all. It's not like real war at all. Which is true. Yeah, obviously. True. It's an arcade shooter. Any video game is not really going to train you to shoot up children. Obviously. But especially not Call of Duty. So, this is an insane lawsuit. But I hate Activision right now, so I hope they lose. Yeah. Those are my thoughts on this.
It would be nice if they did, yeah.
It would be. So, all right, so last thing here is a little video from friend of the pod, Scump. He has no idea who we are.
He does. After the CDL drama.
That's true, right? Yeah, he probably hates us actually. So anyway, Scump's well regarded in the community. He I guess was probably streaming. Charlie Until got a little video of it. By the way, he's got a great mustache. This is a filled-in, full guy. Mustache. Yeah. He is now.
Little ginger boy.
Yeah. Very red hair. Yeah. Anyway, let's listen. So I'm going to 3, 2, 1 this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Call of Duty's just in such a bad spot right now, dude. I don't think Call of Duty has ever been in a worse spot than it is right now. It's kind of depressing, to be honest. I was already concerned, like, them releasing rank so early, and the CDL started up, and then we had, like, a month break from the CDL. So I was already a little bit concerned about all of that, because I was like, okay, I don't know. They're kind of busting all their load all over the place a little bit early. Rank play, they usually make us wait, and they blue ball us a little bit. They make us wait for, they make us chase that carrot for, like, 2 months into the game's release. They dropped it so early, and then they dropped it, and it was so bad because of all the hackers. Rank play itself isn't bad, okay? Rank play itself is fine. I think the system is fine. I think it could be better, but I think it's fine. I don't think there's any problems with it. The problem is the cheaters. I don't know. They just fucked up. And again, we're not completely straying away from COD either. Like, let's not overreact. I'm not gonna be not playing COD at all. We're just gonna be switching things up a little bit more. I'm gonna be a little bit more free with what I want to do on stream. Again, Shotzi said they're gonna be streaming scrims a lot, so we'll probably be tuning into those. Probably not every day, but quite a bit.
So that's that video. And it is just the latest iteration of streamers quitting COD or taking a break from COD because shit's ass. And this is from, by the way, Scump. For those of you who maybe don't know who that is, he's regarded as the best Call of Duty CDL player of all time. He's in the conversation anyway. I think he's the most popular, the most regarded as being the best ever in like the CDL. So
It's
he
also just
obviously
the biggest name in COD. Him and Nadeshot, probably the two biggest names in the game.
right. And he was saying, and so his background, like right now, is he's a multiplayer player. And I find it hard to disagree with anything he said there. They released ranked play too early. Multiplayer and ranked play in and of itself are actually not bad. They are fine. But it's just ruined by cheaters. It's kind of exactly what I think, actually, of multiplayer. And Tanner and I have been saying this. We're like, multiplayer is kind of fine. It's not really that buggy or bad. It's just, if you play ranked, you run into so many cheaters that it's basically unplayable, which is obviously true. And that extends to, so what's funny about that is like I don't think COD's ever been in a worse state. Something he said there. That guy doesn't even play Warzone. Like, yeah. Oh, Scump, do you think your multiplayer is bad? Oh, Maron! Go to Warzone now. You have the same issue. Warzone is infested with cheaters that makes it unplayable. But on top of that, it's not fine. The rank system isn't fine if it weren't for the cheaters, unlike multiplayer. The game fucking sucks, even if there were no cheaters, and it fucking sucks a lot more because there are as many cheaters, probably. Because in multiplayer, it's apparently almost every game someone's cheating, blatantly. In Warzone, that is 100% a fact. It's a fact. It is a fact. If you're playing ranked Warzone, every single game someone will be cheating. You might not see them. You might not run into them. You might not notice. But every single game of 150 players, 1,000% or 120. I'm so sorry. That was a good number. One person's cheating, at least, minimum. Every single game, often quite blatantly. But on top of that, again, unlike ranked multiplayer, it's not like the game is fine besides the cheaters in ranked. The game's a fucking disaster, in fact, besides the cheaters. So even if there were literally no cheaters, the game would still fucking suck, right? Warzone. There are so many bugs. None of them have been fixed. And it keeps getting even worse, really. And the funny thing, too, about that is there are literally hundreds of bugs in Warzone. And if you play ranked Warzone, you have all of those plus ranked exclusive bugs, which is insane. It is the more buggy game mode because it has all of the bugs of Publix plus bonus bugs plus a cheater in every single game. Yeah. I mean, horrendous, fucking unplayable dog shit, dumpster fire, disaster. And we're supposedly getting 2 new big maps? Hey, we've had Urzikstan for more than a year and it doesn't function. We're not ready for a new map. We're certainly fucking not ready for 2 new maps. So it's official. I am black-pilled on Warzone this year. It will never be relatively bug-free or fun consistently. It's official. I held out some hope for a while, but today, having not gotten an update shipped shortly after the holidays that fixed many of the bugs they talked about, after being lied to once again, I am officially of the opinion, and I will bet a reasonable amount of money with anyone who wants to take me up on it, that this game will not be even acceptable in terms of bugs or server stability. Cheaters I would throw in there, but obviously the cheaters are never going to be fixed. They've never done it. So it's just a given. There will always be an infestation of cheaters this year. That's obviously not getting fixed. But on top of that, this is one thing I was not sure about that I am now today sure about. This game will be fucking unplayable for the whole year, Warzone. Period. Because we're so far behind in bugs. They still haven't fixed any. Season 2 is going to come out. They're going to attempt to fix some, but then they're going to release a lot more inadvertently because there's new content in the game. And then we're going to be even deeper of a hole. And then Verdansk or Avalon's going to come back. That is going to be an entirely new can of worms. That's going to have a ton of other new bugs introduced. And then we're going to still have holdover bugs from now or from season 2. And then eventually, I guess, Avalon? I mean, we are so far behind in terms of polish that we do not have time to catch up. Especially with the glaring lack of competence that the devs for Warzone have obviously demonstrated this year. They've tried to fix buying your own guns from a buy station 4 times, and it still doesn't work correctly. That is not that hard to do. So if they can't even fix that after trying and failing 4 times, to this day it's bugged, by the way. Go put 5 attachments on a blueprint gun. It will cost $6,000. It's intended to cost $2,500. 4 times. 4 times they've tried to fix this. They can't do it. So this dev team is so incompetent, and there are so many bugs. If they're going to be releasing new content at all this year, which they will have to, they'll be forced to by Activision, that's going to inevitably introduce new bugs. We are so far behind, no one can play this much catch up. It's always going to be shit. It's going to be just shit. The whole year is going to be shit. So I play Warzone every day, have been for weeks. I do have fun sometimes. But other times I run into lots of bugs, and it bugs me a lot. And cheaters. So it's official. Once again, this game's gonna not be polished ever for Warzone. We have to wait until the integration. If you're frustrated with Warzone right now, do not play this year. It will not get better. It will not get meaningfully better. I guarantee it, and I will bet money on anyone who wants to. It will not get meaningfully better for the entire year. And you might think, wow, it's a little early. I mean, the integration only happened 2 months ago. Hey, that's true, but also I can read, and there is writing on the wall. A lot of it. The writing is on the wall. This shit's ass, it's not getting better. There's no world in which this is ever playable this year. Period. L. Unfortunate, because it's really fun when the game functions, but it won't. It will not function this year, I guarantee it.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. I mean, from what we've seen, they can't fix the same bugs over and over again. Very excited to see what happens in season 2 with all the bug fixes. If, how many of them work, how many of them don't. To what extent of change we get, weapon balancing. Because there will be things like we keep talking about, like bullet penetration. Stuff like that probably isn't even on the radar at all right now, which is a major issue in Warzone right now. Is that going to get fixed in launch of season 2? Probably not. So, but regarding the Scump video, I mean, cheaters are frustrating, definitely, especially in ranked multiplayer. I assume that's what he plays all day long, but I mean, BO6 is nowhere close to being the worst COD's ever been. Yeah, he doesn't know anything. He hasn't played Warzone and seen how fucking terrible it is. But, I mean, literally, MW2 for him as a multiplayer player was 5 times as bad as this game is right now. But cheaters are frustrating, so it just really pisses people the hell off. And then, you get to, this is the worst COD's ever been. But for him, I promise you, it's not even close. Yeah.
For multiplayer, I doubt that's true. Because there have been rage cheaters in ranked multiplayer, what is it, every year? Okay. Like, is it really worse now? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it is, to be fair, but like,
Probably is.
it's not much worse than it ever was, probably. Because it's been really bad in the past too. But yeah, like in terms of, I mean, it's just funny to see someone that doesn't really play Warzone think that multiplayer is the worst it's ever been.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Check out this game mode. Holy shit. It's just it's unconscionable. I can't. So yeah, I'm officially black pilled. This year won't get much better. What's going to end up happening for the rest of the year, and we will continue to cover it, and I'll continue to play it because the pockets of fun are really fun, is that they will say they've changed some things. Some of that will be true. A lot of it won't be. Hopefully, the things they are successfully able to change are pretty impactful, but they're never going to be able to catch up to all of the things that are very impactful for the entire year. Here, like, for example, here's a bug. I'll bet hundreds of dollars this whole year it's not fixed. If you have your knife out and you're swimming in water and you come out of the water and you switch your gun once you're on land, 20 minutes later, you will swap to a pistol, even if you don't have one equipped. This will always happen. I promise you that is the kind of bug that will absolutely never be fixed this entire year. I guarantee it. It's important, but it's not important enough to ever be at the top of their priority list, especially when every time they release an update, there are going to be new bugs that are introduced and a new gun, and that aftermarket part's going to bug it and this and that. So things are always just going to be taking it off the top of the list for the entire year. And because they have so much catch up to do, I guarantee you that never gets changed, which is a disaster of a bug. I mean, it's not the worst one. I agree. It's not the highest priority, but it's high enough priority to where it should be fixed this year, and it won't be. It just won't be. So, yeah.
I can see that never changing.
Yeah. Like, that's a perfect example of one.
That'll get overlooked because there are too many other things that are more important than that, unfortunately.
Yeah. You press triangle. Ramin, I know I can get off the pistol, buddy. You do swap to a pistol.
I think he might be responding to what Mike said about a different bug.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Apparently the
so by the way, if that bug happens to you, just press weapon
like
swap again and the pistol will disappear. But it's like, I have died because I thought I had because when I switched to my knife, I had my jackal out, my SMG. So some guy runs up on me. I get off my knife. Oh, I have a Glock instead. Okay, yeah. I've died. Like, you know, I'm very used to this now, so I always just instantly get off of it. But yeah, like that's the type of bug. So, and there are so many things like that too. Like some of them I do think eventually they will fix. Like when you jump off a ladder, you just instantly parachute. I think sometime this year they will fix that.
Sometime this year, yeah.
Because that's really bad. And you can't play around it. Like the pistol thing, you can kind of play around almost always. But this, you really can't. Other than not climbing ladders anymore, I guess. But, yeah. So, yeah, I'm black-pilled. And it sucks because, like, also Warzone's really, really, really fun right now when it works. It's really fun. I'm playing a ton.
It's fun because you have shit lobbies, though. Keep in mind. It wouldn't be fun if you were playing anything else.
Oh, that's obviously true.
That's the only reason it's fun, yeah. The game's not fun or good. It's just everyone playing in pubs against you guys has half of a single KD.
Well, I mean, yeah, the most fun are in the worst lobbies, obviously. But, like, even playing against, like, competent teams that aren't cheating, that is fun because the movement does feel good. I do like the unlimited tack sprint. I do like the visual recoil changes, finally. The time to kill is pretty good. And so, and like having all the zips, you know, you can move around a lot. That is fun. Like it is fun. And Omni movement's really cool. I do like being able to giga slide, do plays like that. I like the aim assist nerf, even being on controller, because you can absolutely win or lose gunfights by virtue of how well you aim up close against another controller player, because the aim assist is weak enough that close, especially with the giga slides you can do now. It is fun. But it's just like it functions so seldom that it really, really sours it a lot. And that's going to be the case the entire year. Yeah, that's my thesis. So anyway, that's pretty much it. So we do have some announcements before we go. We will be back on Saturday. So keep that in mind. Maybe there's an update tomorrow, Friday. It wouldn't be shortly after the holidays, but if they fixed many of the issues they talked about in that tweet, Friday, I would take it.
Yeah, it's possible.
Possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Fuck, they're fitting just so much into that patch that they needed one extra day. That's what it is. Has to
surely.
be what it is.
Yeah. He overdoses on copium. Anyway, we have some announcements. Welcome to our new gold patrons. Pearson S., Agent MIB Agent S. Link your Discord, buddy. You can figure it out. And Absolute. Welcome, boys. Our newest gold patrons, all of which were gifted to you. So the real thanks is not to you guys. The real thanks is to the gifters, who were Chris, Doc Lopper, and I think Patios. I think those were those three gifters. So thanks to you guys and not to these people. But we got another gold patron as well who did not get a gifted. He did it himself. G-Mono King. Welcome. And welcome to all of you to the Patreon. Patreon.com/the Dropshot. Best way to support the show. We also got a new Damascus patron going from Platinum to Damascus. Tyler T. Who may or may not, well, I won't say it, but Tyler, you better be related to the right people, or not the wrong people, I should say. This is not a racial thing. It's, by the way, because it sounded kind of maybe like it was. Obviously, it's not. Tyler, welcome. None of that mattered. To the Damascus Lounge King. Good to have you, and thank you very much. Once again, patreon.com/dropshot, ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and bonus episodes, of which we have done one recently for our Platinum and Up patrons, which was our patron Q&A. We are dry. We're black on patron Q&A questions. That's what they say, right? Black on ammo? Out of ammo?
Is that what they say?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm dry. I know.
I experienced, I'm dry. Yeah, dry on questions.
I'm dry. Yeah.
I would know because I was in the United States Marine Corps, but I experienced so much traumatic brain injury from it that I've forgotten the phrase. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And that is true. But anyway, what we did was a patron Q&A for our Platinum and Up patrons. It was good. Wasn't great because the questions were middling, to say the least.
Yeah, and now we're out of them. So yeah.
And now we're out of them. We are dry on questions. So ask some more questions. But if you are a Platinum and Up patron or want to become one, you can now go listen to that. We will also be recording a Patreon episode tomorrow if Tanner's home does not burn down in the California wildfires absolutely ravaging that state, or some other thing happens. I don't know. His power goes out again. We'll see.
It's possible. It's supposed to get windy again. So
it is. It's actually possible. So the plan is to record another bonus episode tomorrow. Will we? We'll see. What will we talk about? Well, luckily, we got an update shipped shortly after the holidays that addressed many of the issues. So we'll talk about those. Psych. Nothing has changed in months, weeks. So I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll do something. If you have some micro topic suggestions, now would be a good time. We might do one of those. We might do another Twitter roundup, or we might do something else. Let us know what you guys want in Discord soon. And then like the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, press that like button. Helps the algorithm. And we now have every podcast episode will be video and audio, obviously, but video on Spotify. So if you like watching the video versions of the podcast, you can do that on YouTube and always have been able to, and like the video if you're there. But also if you'd like to watch on Spotify, now for the first time ever, the moment the episode hits the airwaves, it will have video. There's not like that weird delay. Huh? Yeah, the exact moment. There's not that weird delay that there was for a couple weeks there. Now you can watch the video right away. And then if you use some other app, listen, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's something for you guys to keep inside of your minds. And I think that's it. Any other announcements, Tanner?
No, we got to plan our hangout here. So maybe next weekend we'll do the hangout, guys. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. For our Damascus patrons, we do a hangout once a month. And you can see all the goodies you get at patreon.com/thedropshot. Activision devs do not play their own game.
At all, yeah.